Hello.
Your life was profound, inspirational, and courageous. Your actions and legacy will allow us to continue to let you live in our hearts well beyond the next phase of our life, and the one after that, and the one after that.
When Will was just shy of 8 weeks old, I took him to take a bath. His left leg looked extremely swollen, and immediately my body went into shock. I knew something was wrong. They could see the mass again in his brain as well as in his leg. And we found out it was ATRT that evening. And that's when palliative care really began for us.
Palliative care does not begin at the end.
A lot of people confuse palliative medicine and hospice. Palliative care really starts the day of diagnosis and follows all the way through.
It can happen at the same time as curative care.
Palliative care is not about dying. Palliative care is about teaching these families how to live.
Do you want to go with us?
The cells in her body don't produce enough energy to sustain the organs that she needs to survive. I actually have 3 children with mitochondrial disease, and they're all affected differently. Mary Grace's is her GI tract is shut down. My other children is her muscles in their legs. We've been to Boston, we've been to Philadelphia, but basically there's nothing they could do there that they can't do here for us. We're here a lot for infections of her blood, and that's how we got involved with the palliative care and the Dr. Porter.
Life is more not about the destination, but it's more about the people that you meet along the way. So that sort of fits us. You know, the purpose of our program Journeys is to help people with their journey.
It started with a group of interested doctors and nurses, nutritionists, social workers, child life specialists, all already working at the Children's Hospital.
It's a poem called Welcome to Holland. The individual who wrote the poem has been planning this trip to Italy, and how excited they are about going to Italy, only to get off the plane and have the stewardess say, "Welcome to Holland." The idea is that for many of our palliative care families, they have arrived in Holland, and we want to make sure that as good guides in Holland, that we help their journey there. Palliative care is about building relationships. That intense form of caring that comes into a situation at its most vulnerable, and it says here, I'm here to be with you, to support you.
They really swooped in and helped us walk through everything.
Oftentimes there's a lot of other children in the family affected, and how do we reach out to those kids?
We had so much support, and we see what Ben and Max, really the toll it took on Ben.
It's the whole family.
Yeah.
It wasn't just about, the challenges with Will, it was the challenges of every one of us.
They've come to our house, and Alice has made us feel comfortable, and she's actually has gone on trips with us to other hospitals to keep Mary and myself comfortable, so my husband can stay home with the other children.
Advocating for the patient and the family.
Sometimes that's the biggest gift we can give them.
Palliative care is about empowering the child and the family. You have hopes and dreams for your child has hopes and dreams for themselves of how they want to live out their lives. And then you get a diagnosis that you know is going to change that course.
Medicine treats the disease, and palliative care is not about treating the disease, it's about treating the patient and the family.
And it gives them some feeling of control.
It's taking into consideration who this child was before they became sick.
It was important that we kept our family together. Having them there and allowing them to go through that journey with us, we always say we live with no regrets. I think we were able to do that for the boys.
This has kept my 12-year-old, 5-year-old, and 4-year-old with their sister. And there have been times we weren't sure she was coming home from the hospital, and she has come home.
Whether their child passes or whether their child is living with a chronic disease, they know that they did the very best for their child.
Palliative care is about setting goals. Just sit down and deal with, what do you want? What would make you happy? What would be ideal? And if you know that in 6 months you're going to lose the ability to walk because your muscles are going to waste away, well, what do you want to do in those 6 months? Do you want to get on your bike and ride your bike? A teen with, refractory cancer, his goals are to be at school. His goals are to get to the prom. I have to align my goals with his goals.
Working their illness or their treatment around their world. Sometimes going to a Yankee game or going swimming in a pool, that's better medicine and gives kids more quality of life and time than any of the treatments we can possibly give them in the hospital.
She's been able to be a kid and not be a patient. It's allowed her time to
You want to run down the hall with me?
learn the things that 3-year-olds learn, not just learn about IVs and how to hold a syringe pump and how not to pull your J tube out. She's learned how to, have tea parties and play with Play-Doh, and it seems very little, but when your kid is in the hospital all the time, that's not little. That's everything to you.
Palliative care is about alleviating pain and suffering.
Palliative care is beyond comfort care. It includes everything from still trying to go for curative therapy, but recognizing that you need to help and support and give guidance to that patient or to that family.
It's not just about when you think of morphine and pain. We want to keep the family as comfortable as possible as they can be in these life-threatening situations.
To be able to give families the type of medical support, emotional support, spiritual support to help them live their lives.
Palliative care is about thinking outside the box.
I appreciate that the music therapist would come in and play music with Will and I. I had his handprints and his footprints made. All those little things that I was able to continue to do with him as if we weren't in a hospital.
Tammy always talked about is when she left the hospital, all she wanted to do was get her whole family into bed. So that's what we did, and for the last week of his life, they stayed in bed together.
Just lots of interesting things happened during that period of time. We all kind of changed a little bit.
They really were
Accommodating.
just so accommodating and just so thoughtful of what we needed. And
It goes beyond traditional medicine architecture.
Palliative care does not end at the end.
It continues to travel with you until you no longer need that.
A lot of times we see the effects of what they've been through carry on for months and years afterwards.
she is in contact with these families, right from the time that the child passes, and she's calling the parents to make sure they're okay. She's checking on the siblings to make sure it's okay.
It's important that they have that support so they don't fall through the cracks.
Palliative care is hope. That we can enter a child's and a family's life at the time when they feel hopeless and bring a sense of hope to their day.
They gave me just so much hope to know that they were with me at 2 a.m. on those really bad nights with Will.
No matter how short or how long, that hope is something that has a legacy beyond the present moment.
Palliative care is legacy building. Legacy building is meaning you don't have any regrets.
She's gotten her first haircut, and she's been able to, see her sister off to school, things we never thought she'd do.
When they leave the program, that they say that was a good journey. It was a journey worth taking, even though I had no choice.
The first everything that you got, the first giggle, the first smile.
Feeding them applesauce.
Yeah, the first bit of food. I mean, when we talk about legacy, that's what we're left behind with, are all those amazing memories that you really doubted you'd ever have.
You like it? You want some more?
We're keeping his spirit alive, his memory alive, but we're really keeping him alive because we get to tell this story. We were able to raise enough money to make a $25,000 donation to Albany Medical Center in September, specifically to support the Journeys program.
We're currently seeing a new patient every week. The financial support and the raised awareness that the Will Foundation has brought to the Journeys team is a strong link.
They are about taking what they learned through this process and making it better for other people, and knowing, firsthand that they can't fix things for people, because certainly if they could have fixed things, Will would be here with us.
We're thankful we had him as long as we did. We got him until February 6th, and it was a lot of bad, low days, but there was a lot of great days too. A lot of fun and laughter and and memories and moments that we had.
You're not going to change a diagnosis, you're not going to change an outcome, but you can change anything that goes on in between. And I think that's the thing. We know we have this great book of memories in our mind of things that we did, and every family is capable of doing at least doing that.